So what I wanted to do really quick was write down the topic. So don't get discouraged. Okay, let's talk about that. So let's talk about some of the key notes to this. From what perspective? As a human being, as a person, as an artist, overanalyzing, overthinking, extremely self-sabotaging for sure. Overanalyzing, overthinking, self-sabotaging, just putting yourself in the most analytical position of your mind to where it becomes such a, it's like, you know, when you're a kid, when you had the popsicle, the ice freeze, and you got like a brain freeze from it. And it's kind of that idea of really putting yourself in a position where it's just like, man, I'm just frying my brain with so much information and so much anxiety that it's putting me in a position where it gets discouraging. And so you really try your best to not put that pressure on yourself. You really try your best to slow down the mind, right? And it's, you know, these mindful practices for ourselves to really put ourselves in that meditative state, especially if we're putting ourselves in these very analytical places in our minds. We need to counterbalance that with slowing our minds down. So meditation is constantly good. And so why you see, you know, a lot of software engineers and just anybody that's in that analytical cells and very high extreme kind of work, you feel me? It really puts a lot of people's adrenaline just up there, fam. And so that's that, you know, that dopamine, that adrenaline of that constant masculine energy of that go-getting. I got to get this. I got to get this money. I got to analyze it this way. I got to do it this way. I got to do it that way. And so it really puts you in a position where your body can only handle so much information. You feel me? Our bodies aren't machines. And so we need to also conceptualize that and realize that, okay, as much as information that I'm putting in my mind and understanding for myself as a human being, just receiving these downloads or these knowledges of certain things in the lives that you want to experience, whether it be teaching yourself, whatever it is, so many different subjects. The whole point is you get to a position in your life in this experience where it becomes discouraging because your brain starts as I was saying, just over analyzing and just to the point where it just shuts off. It's like a computer, you know, you got to plug it into the power cord. Otherwise, you know, an hour or 2, 5, 7 hours later, it's going to die out. And so it's that same analogy. You need to take a break. Your mind needs to reset and relax and get back to that meditative state of your mind, body, and soul in order for you to function. And so when you get to that position of feeling like, man, I just, you know, I don't feel that courage of pursuing my dreams, pursuing this goal, pursuing this job, whatever it is that you are feeling discouraged about, it's a process. It really puts you in this poor me mentality, that victimhood mentality, that self-sabotaging mentality. So once you realize, and then, you know, majority of the time will break down, you know, your girl just the other day, because I was like studying a lot of things I want to get into, and it got to the point where it felt discouraging, you know, because it's all that pressure, all that over analyzing of, you know, what do I got to do next? And that pressure of, you know, society of like, we got to catch up to all this technology, to all this, whatever life as we know it. And so I don't think I've ever in my life experienced that discouraging moment where I literally like for a second had a little meltdown. And I was just like, man, and that's the other thing too. You kind of have to question, okay, but is this a meltdown within myself? Or is this just a collective energy that we're all really feeling in humanity right now? You feel me? And so when you dive deeper into your spirituality, into your higher purpose, into this higher frequency of us experiencing life on many different levels, you then start to question, you know, is this really me? Is this really me breaking down right now? Is this my emotion? Am I feeling somebody else's emotion? And especially for myself and many other people as well listening to this, we're empaths. So we absorb and soak in people's energies, and it's the people around us. And majority of the time too, especially because your girl does tarot, I energetically am able to collect and receive people's energies. And so you can only imagine how your girl feels in person, because it's these sensories that are heightened within us. So back to when it gets to that point of feeling discouraged, it really makes you feel down, you know, it makes you feel like, man, I just don't want to do any of this. I don't want to feel, you know, like I just can't get up and out of bed, or there's just too much information or pressure to even start this new job, this new gig, or even, you know, this program that I want to learn, whatever. And you get to a meltdown. You get to a point where you melt down. And so in those experiences and at that point in your journey, you have to understand and realize, like, man, is this really something that I want to continue to put myself in? And I say that as a way of, do I want my body to continue to feel this massive stress, especially if I don't know how to control my emotions? And so it's really diving into those deeper questions and understanding who you are as an individual, period. And that's always going to ultimately help you to pursue and continue to move forward and be motivated when it comes to whatever it is that you want to do in your life. And so there's going to be moments where you're going to feel the pressure, when you're going to feel like, man, is this even the right thing I'm supposed to be doing? And you really got to come to that very simple question of, do I love what it is that I'm doing? And do I really want to put myself in this position constantly 24/7? And so that's a question that you can only answer for yourself. Nobody outside of you can answer that. And so when you get to that position, you as an individual have to be yourself motivator. You have to find certain tools and things that are going to help you to stay healthily on top of your game. And it really breaks down to, you know, just that self-mastery. You really have to get to know who you are to the inside and out, so that you're able to fully delve into who and what emotions you're feeling, so that you can decipher and identify, are these my emotions, or am I really feeling this collective energy that's outside of me? And it's going to be a combination of both. Again, once you tap more into your spirituality, into your spiritual knowing, you're going to be able to have these heightened sensories, and it's going to cause you to feel out of place, out of ordinary. You're not going to feel like you fit in with a lot of people. And so that in itself can be discouraging. And so then you get into that position where you start isolating yourself. You start becoming this introvert. And because in your mind, and because of the experience that you are now realizing for yourself, it's like, man, I can't even fit in with people. You know, I can't even have a conversation where people are going to understand what I'm saying or where I'm coming from. And so that's discouraging again. And so you get to this position in life where you start taking a step back, you start analyzing yourself, you start analyzing your work, your life. What is it that I'm supposed to be doing at a certain age, at a certain point in my life? I'm seeing all these, and then you start comparing your experience with other people's experiences. And so then that becomes encouraging or discouraging. And so then you start doing this self-sabotaging belief and over-analyzing and being that overcritical about yourself and being your own worst judge. That's why they say that. It's so cliche, but it's really true. We go through this as individual human beings, especially if you are a creative, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you own your business, whatever management position, higher up position that you play as a role in your family dynamic, in your friendships, or whatever. You get to a point in your life, in your career, where it becomes discouraging, where things you start to feel the pressure. You start to overanalyze life. You start to overanalyze the people around you. You start to overanalyze a lot of different things. And once you become aware of this about yourself, you either do one or two things. You be counterproductive and find tools and ways to help you become this better version of yourself. You find outlets. You find self-help books, self-mastery things on the internet, interwebs. And whatever it is that's going to help you get to that very meditative, creative, divine feminine is what I'm saying and calling it energy, to where it puts you in the central, creative, natural flow of nurturing your emotion, nurturing that well-being of who you are, understanding this part of yourself and allowing you to embrace that natural reality and experience and emotion within yourself is going to help you stay on track when it comes to being discouraged in certain situations in your life, because it's going to happen. It's the ebb and flow of life, fam. The reality of the duality. It's the duality of life. We need the negative for it to be positive. We need the positive for it to be negative. It's science, it's math. And so without one without the other, 11, it's not going to be that contrast that we need to be able to experience these human experiences as we continue to evolve as human beings in our lifetime. And so the more we evolve as human beings, the more everything around us, technology, our consciousness starts to evolve higher and higher. And then it gets deeper into the intelligence of humanity, this revolution of where we are now guiding our consciousness towards this new age of Aquarius, this higher knowing, this higher being. And so it's really interesting to where our society is going to be in just even a couple of years, let alone in the next 10, 15, 20 years. It's so crazy, as I'm saying, like, we're in a position now where we are evolving as human beings, and so is our technology with AI and ways to make money, ways to just do a different way of living. And going against the grain is always going to make it harder for us to evolve. And it's crazy to be in a position to even talk about this, because your girl is an 80s baby. And so I've seen technology from the manual script. You feel me? Like, there wasn't the internet. There wasn't, YouTube was barely even like hitting it off. You feel me? And so it was a lot of just downloading, burning CDs, all the, Napster and those programs back in the day, and cell phones just coming about, you feel me? And so just seeing where we are now in our generation is so dope, you guys. Like, shout out to our millennial generation. We're like the evolution of our generation. We're the ones bringing in this higher learning, this higher spiritual consciousness, this energy that exists within all of us. And so it's just a matter of how you're bringing it into our realities, into your own individual realities, through your work, through whoever you want to be in your life. And it's a powerful, powerful thing to be in a position in our day and age right now to really experience and see how much we are evolving as human beings. And so that alone can be discouraging for a lot of people. You start again, all these human experiences that, we go through day in and day out. It doesn't even have to be within technology and society. It really gets to a point where it's as simple as your dynamic of friends, your dynamic of people, your dynamic of family members, the people closest to you, relationships. And so the most important relationship that you need to continue to focus on is ultimately yourself. And you're going to forever be on top of everything. You're going to forever be on top of your own emotions. You're going to know how to control yourself and your emotions when times like this get crazy and different, and you just got to go with the flow. You can't go against the grain and just allow these emotions to experience, exist. Allow these emotions to come out of you. You need to feel these emotions. You need to feel this discouraging moment in your life, because that's going to do one or two things. It's either going to encourage you or it's going to continue to discourage you. And so you are the master of your reality, fam. And you're the only ones that can create this world that you want to see for yourself, the dreams that you've been dreaming, turning these into reality, turning your life into the beautiful, abundant lifestyle that you could ever imagine. And having that confidence within yourself and knowing that you can do this, because you can. And it doesn't matter what age you are. It really doesn't. We got to, it's crazy to just, as I was saying, as we evolve as human beings, as this evolutionary growth that continues to happen, because it's inevitable. It's the seasons, we're changing constantly. So we're moving with it. And you are either going to move with it or you're going to get left behind with it. And as we continue to grow and evolve, as I was saying, like, we're going to continue to see changes in our reality, in our lives, in our skills. What we're doing today is not going to be what we're doing probably in the next 7 years. So as I was saying, it doesn't matter what age you are, and when you start your journey, when you're able to find that anointment, that awakening within yourself, that purpose within yourself, that is when you can start your journey into the evolutionary growth of who you're meant to be in this lifetime. And so that can be discouraging, because it's different from being a normal 9-to-5 job, you feel me? And so as I was saying, there's going to be these moments and times in life where we're meant to feel these experiences, because it's just evolving us into the better and higher versions of ourselves. When it comes to relationships, things are going to constantly change and shift. Your girl's longest relationship was 6 years. There was so much life happening within that relationship. So much different types of ways of growing with each other. So many, different types of ways of growing out of that relationship. You feel me? And so we all have our own individual plan that's been laid out for us. So it's just a matter of who is able to tap into your plan that you're meant to be here on this planet in this lifetime to be able to experience your plan here on earth. And so as you become more aware of this understanding within yourself, it becomes way easier, fam, to navigate through the matrix of what society is, the matrix of how we're supposed to be, do, and breathe at a certain point in time in our lives, at a certain point in time in our age and reality. You can be 60 years old and have this awakening and become that millionaire in 2 years. You feel me? And so that is just an analogy and understanding and an expression of, it doesn't matter what it is that you want to do in life. There's going to always be ups and downs regardless. It's going to be discouraging. There's going to be the lowest lows. If you've never hit your lowest low ever in your lives, then you aren't challenging yourself. You aren't challenging yourself to evolve where you are in your life right now. As I was saying, it's that duality. We need that challenge in order for us to evolve and become these bigger, better, doper, beautiful versions of ourselves, to see what we can do in our lives, to see what we can do beyond our traditional beliefs of what we grew up in, to see that we can become these higher leadership versions of ourselves. You are the master designer of your life, fam. And so it's a matter of how you can control your emotions and who you are when it comes to certain changes and shifts, and being able to know how to adapt in your environment. It's like being thrown in the jungle. Are you going to know how to survive? Fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's because of that mentality. It's a structure. You got to reprogram, your mind to understanding, like, there's going to be challenges in our lives, regardless of whatever it is. And so you should be encouraged by that. You should always be wanting to do better for yourself. You should always take that as a personal milestone for yourself of like, okay, this is a position in my life where now I can grow from this experience that just happened, or I'm going to fall backwards and take it personal and get emotional and get to that poor me victimhood, as I was saying earlier, where a lot of 95% of humans society is at today. You feel me? And so, because it's easier to be in that victimhood. It's easier to give up. It's easier to just work my 9 to 5 where I don't have to worry about, scheduling for other people, doing what it is that a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs have to do day in and day out just to sustain their business. It's easier for a lot of people to just be stuck in a bubble and be fed any and everything that any business or higher up is going to feed the masses. And so we have a choice. Do you want to be the one feeding the masses, or do you want to be the one being fed? So as we evolve, as we continue to grow within ourselves, understanding and really diving into your spiritual knowing of who you are, your awakening, you're going to be able to shift and be tossed in the jungle and know how to survive, fam. When you have that knowledge within yourself, you are set for life. You're set for life, because it's going to put you in a position where your mind shifts in every single moment drastically when it comes to these low tides of your life, you're going to know how to shift your mind because of your spiritual knowing, because of you knowing your purpose and who you are. And so these are just ways to catch yourself. These are just ways to understand who you are and where you came from and why it is what you're doing, what it is that you're doing. So discouraging times and space, that's, it's real. It's real life experiences. We're going to feel discouraged in a lot of different things when it comes to life. It's just a part of our evolutionary growth. And as I was saying, you're either going to go with it or you're going to let it continue to keep you down. And so doing your day in and day out, whatever it is that you need to do for yourself, you're the only person that knows. No one else, as I was saying before, no one else is going to tell you how to be yourself. You feel me? So who are you? Be yourself, regardless if it's different. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm the perfect example of what's different and what works. You feel me? Like, that's why I love doing what it is that I'm doing. It's me proving that we can do whatever it is that we want to do. It doesn't matter. I come from the most traditional upbringing. And so it put me out into the world to becoming the complete opposite of the traditional, upbringing. And so it's because when you put yourself in a position of understanding something greater within yourself exists, you're never going to let that energy go. You're never going to forget about that. It's always going to be inside of you. It's that intuition. It's that knowing of who you are. And so when you see that for yourself, there's no going back, family. Because once you're able to tap into that intuition more and more and follow it and things work out for you, ooh, that gave me the chills. That's how you know you're the alchemist and the magician of your life, fam, because you want that understanding of, okay, I know how that feels when I survive through the worst things in my life, but following my intuition, knowing that there's still like things I got to do, that energy of, I know that there's something better for me. There's something bigger for me. There's something I got to do. You following that, and your girl's been following that since I was a child. So you can only imagine that muscle memory, within me. I built that for years. I'm in my 30s. And so seeing when I do follow the intuition and seeing things happen beautifully and crazy and all these different experiences, it's like, man, I wouldn't go back and do it again, but to be where I am today, it's like, if I didn't follow my intuition on what it is that I wanted to do and be and know that I'm supposed to continue to push forward in my life, I wouldn't be here on this camera sharing this experience. You feel me? And so it really puts you in a position of you finding that purpose within yourself so that you don't become discouraged, because that's going to change your mind and being like, look, I'm really focused. I know what I'm meant to be doing here in this lifetime. And when you get to that position in your life, you then turn that into your business. You then turn that into helping and experiencing and sharing this life with everybody else so that it inspires and helps everybody wake up, because we're all in the same, we come from the same place, fam. As I was saying, it's just a matter of who is able to tap into their blueprint, who's able to tap into your own journey, why you're meant to be here, and really focus on that. And so why a lot of, from my experience, why, as I was saying, I come from a very traditional family upbringing, and I'm the black sheep of the family for sure. But it took me time to accept that. And it took time for them to accept that, because I forced that to let them know, like, look, I'm not here to be doing what the traditional book was saying that we're supposed to be doing. because there's something bigger inside of me. There's something that's forcing me, that I'm paying attention to, that's telling me that I need to go this way and continue to be doing this. And I've been following that for years. And so was it discouraging? Fuck yeah, it was. Has it been? Fuck yeah, it's been. But as I was saying, I would never change it for anything else. I would never go back and redo it. Would I do it again? Maybe, I don't know. But I would never, like, knowing in this position that I'm in now, it's like, there's no going back, as I was saying earlier. There's no going back. Once you see it, once you feel it, once you feel that success, once you know who you are, there's no going back. And the people are going to start dropping out of your life. You're going to start losing friends. And as I was saying earlier, you're going to become more isolated in your own self, because you now are in a position where you can't truly relate to certain individuals anymore, because even having a simple conversation, it's hard to even have a conversation because people aren't going to understand what you're trying to, talk about. And these more intellectual kind of conversations, these higher energies, these higher knowings of ourselves. And so it's only a select it's only a select few that have this opportunity to find that within themselves. And being a part of this renaissance of this new age of Aquarius and our technology, and seeing this happening again, in, as I was saying, for your girl being, an 80s baby, seeing this new renaissance happening again, it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're going to be a part of it. We have to, because we already seen what it's done in the past. And so it's going to continue to become even more evolved for next generations to come. And people are going to, be able to come back to these videos, to these podcasts, to these, just like we did when we were kids. We're looking back into like the 60s, and even to this day, man, it's just such a beautiful thing, this whole intelligence game. You feel me? And so being a part of it is most definitely, you have to, in order to understand this human experience that we're all meant to be going through, family. This is such a dope time in our evolutionary growth. And I'm just so excited to be a part of this, and to be able to be in this position, as I was saying, right here on camera, to even share this experience, because that's just what it is. It's sharing your individual experience with everybody. And who doesn't want to hear somebody else's experience? You feel me? Because that ignites something within ourselves to be able to ignite more things into each other. And so that's just the natural flow and the natural connection that we're experiencing and meant to be a part of in this earthly realm. And so, as I was saying, getting to that position in your life to know and understand this awakening within yourself, it's not going to be discouraging, because you then become so confident within yourself. As over time, it doesn't happen overnight. It's taken your girl 30 plus years to get to this position, to be in front of the camera, to express and talk like this, and it's a beautiful and crazy and wild experience. But as I was saying, you have to tap into your own blueprint of who you are and what you're meant to be doing in this lifetime. No one else is supposed to experience your blueprint. It's only you. You have a specific title and name and why you came here on earth, to be able to share your experience with all of our brothers and sisters that are trying to find the reason why we're here. And so here we are, fam. Oh, gang. This is so dope. I just flowed into this conversation. I thought it was going to be such a whole other thing. I had the camera set up and over here because I wanted to try other things, but we're just going to go with this one. And again, that's just the beautiful experience of just life. And what I've been able to experience for myself is to be able to just flow with whatever it is that you got, flow with whatever it is you got going on. however it shows up, changing that perspective of your mind to just being like, man, this is what it is. So is this going to discourage me, or is it going to inspire me to become this higher and beautiful and doper and better version of myself? With or without distraction, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter how beautiful and dope it is. You are going to make what you have beautiful and dope for yourself, and you're going to be able to share that with everybody else, because that is the blueprint of you, and this is just the blueprint of me. And so it's dope to be able to share this on the screen right here to millions of people, you feel me? And so it's a vibe. It's crazy. As I was saying, like being an 80s baby and seeing this, whole thing. And you can only imagine our parents, man. Their generation, I'm so sorry. They're just, it's hard for them to conceptualize this renaissance that's happening. And, we kind of have to just leave them where they're at. And that's just what it is in our generation. It's like you're either with it or you're not. And so clearly our parents' generation, some of them, they just can't conceptualize it and understand it. And so we kind of have to babysit them, to help them understand, like, we're evolving as like human beings, you feel me? And so, it's wild for them to see us making money online, right? Because that generation is just so used to the labor to manually like touching things and constantly moving, and to them that's work. In our generation, that's not work anymore. We don't need to. This is work right here. And so it's crazy to just see as I was saying, like in just within our generations period of that contrast, that duality, it exists. And so it's starting to not only just divide us, but it's really putting a stigma of like, this is this, and then this is this. So pick and choose which one you want to be in, fam. And so, yeah, it's just, again, it's really, when these discouraging moments happen, it's really taking that time and dive into yourself, of your purpose, of who you are. That will never be discouraging to you, because you become so confident in that knowing and understanding of who you are. Nothing's going to stop you, gang. Nothing's going to stop you. Nothing's going to stop you. And so you're going to be able to experience so much in your life and your blueprint. And so this is dope. I love how this just naturally flowed, you guys. Again, I was like preparing for a whole fancy ass setup or whatever, but the whole point is really to just get this message out, you guys, and make it as, free and natural. Because when we become too robotic and too organized, it's like, yeah, it's dope that, we see all this on, technology and everything and on social media and all of that. But at the same time too, we still are human. We still have emotions. We still don't have to be perfect. You feel me? And so that's the one thing I love about just building this, the way it's just been naturally building on its own. I don't care that it hasn't grown to where I want it to be, but I know eventually this is the long game, fam. You get to the point where you start playing the long game. And as I was saying earlier, it's like, it's going to be, the next generations after generations are going to be able to come back into these platforms to find all this information from whenever they need to find it. And so it's crazy and dope to just, as I was saying, to be able to be in a position in our generation to be a part of this renaissance. It's dope, you guys. So don't be discouraged about life. Don't be discouraged about you experiencing what you're meant to be experiencing, because it's a part of your blueprint. It's a part of your karma. And so when you get to that position of understanding that, it eases your experience. It eases your mind. It eases you. And it allows you to just naturally flow and allow things to be what they are and learn from it, move with it, experience it, love it, breathe it, be it. And just allow it and just continue to move forward, gang. Ooh, shout out to all you guys. I love you guys for following all the socials. I love you guys for finding this channel, finding this podcast, this radio station. This is going to continue on, and I'm just going to be continuing to talk about all the different topics and things and your girl's life experiences. And so I'm excited to share more of things that I want to talk about with you guys, because I know this is a part of the experience, you feel me? And I know a lot of people will be able to resonate with what's happening and what I've been able to experience in my life and what people are going through now. And it's just, as I was saying, it's dope to be on this journey with you guys, to be able to share my experience with you guys and be able to be relatable to you guys. So I love and appreciate all you. Oh, shout out to the gang from across the way. Love, share, like, subscribe on the socials. I don't even know. I don't have a script. Clearly, I don't have a script for this. And so that's, as I was saying, it doesn't matter. Like, even too, if you're trying to start, you know, a new business, a new project, just start it. It's dope. There's a Think Media. Check them out. I've been following them forever, but their slogan is just, I think, what is it? Just hit record. Just press play and hit record or some shit like that. It's dope because that's just what it is. It's like over analyzing and that in itself, you know, that self-sabotaging, just, man, but what if this, what if that, what if I don't look at it? Clearly, this is raw files right here, fam. Raw files right here. And so just do it. Just do it. Just hit that record. Just jump into that endeavor. Just find that purpose within yourself so that you can build that quality within yourself, those skills, that encouraging place within yourself, because we all have it. You just have to find that within yourself, fam. So I hope this is inspiring to everybody who's tapped in and tuned in to the frequencies, gang. I love and appreciate all y'all. Peace and so much love, fam.